Hey, what's going on guys? This is 5 Large Fries, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about Titanfall 2. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I love about it, what I don't love about it, and also showcase the Bounty Hunt game mode, as this is new to Titanfall 2. Now, this game mode is an absolute joy to play. I really do enjoy playing this game mode, but there's one big flaw that sort of puts me off playing it, and I'll talk to you about that in just a bit. But first, let's talk about what this game mode actually is. So the idea is that you have to kill waves of enemies, and then at the end of that wave, you earn a bounty for each kill that you kill, and that adds to your score or your bounty, and you have to deposit this at the end of each wave. Now, obviously, you can get killed by enemy players, and if you do, I believe, and quote me if I'm wrong in the comments below, that I believe you lose half of your bounty to that player. So that player takes half of your bounty when you die, and vice versa, if you kill another player, you steal half of theirs. So it's a quick way of earning bounty by taking other people's bounties. So it kind of adds that element of not wanting to die, that survivability kind of feel to it. And it stops people from running around recklessly, which is really cool. I love that about this game mode. It is really fun. Now, my gripe with it is the length it takes to complete a match. Now, this video originally, unedited, was about 18 minutes long. That's obviously including the epilogue as well at the end. And for me, that feels like it is too much for a game like this. It feels like it should be fast-paced when, in fact, in that respect, it is slow-paced. So my suggestion to make this game mode a lot more fun and, to be over quicker is to maybe lower the amount of score needed in order to win, because at the moment I'm seeing games sort of reach the maximum amount of time allowed and then go into the epilogue because, the time's gone. So that's my main gripe with it. Other than that, it is a really fun game mode. Really enjoy it. Now, the other gripe that I had with this game, which, to be fair, the developers have changed. They hot patched it. So I'm really glad they're listening to the community, because I think this is something that everybody was a little bit frustrated with. And that was the fact that it took forever for you to earn a Titan, right? So you could play, say for example, I'm going to use Amped Hardpoint for an example, which is basically domination, right? Now, you could play an entire match of domination or hardpoint and not earn a Titan at all, which it sucks. That sucks. The game is about Titans. The clue's in the name. It's called Titanfall. So you would expect to see Titans running about, but in some respects you don't in those game modes. So they've changed it, which I really love. And now you can earn a Titan maybe 3 or 4 times, maybe even more if you play really well, which is amazing. And I do love the fact that the developer Respawn are listening to the community, which is fantastic. So there's a few other mechanics that they've added to the game. Obviously, there's new Titans, which I really love. In fact, this Titan that I'm using is called Ion, which is a really... In fact, out of the 2 that you can play in the alpha, is probably my favourite one. Now, the core ability for Ion is like this laser blast thing you can do, which is so powerful. In fact, in just a second, I'm going to go overkill, and it is so funny. It's kind of like a Hadouken, sort of Kamehameha even, in fact. Just watch this. So this guy's coming to get me. I see him, I turn around, and then laser call to the face. It's so satisfying to get a kill like that, especially on a pilot. I thought I may as well use it because I was a goner at that point. So the other thing that I was frustrated with this game, but again, I think for me personally, I think I didn't give it enough time. I didn't let it settle in a little bit. But originally, it felt like it took forever to kill someone, and yet, in vice versa, it felt like I could die in seconds to the exact same weapon, the exact same loadout, and stuff like that. It isn't actually the case. You just gotta get used to the game a little bit and stuff like that. So it does, you can drop people really quickly. I don't know if that was a gripe that everyone had originally, and then the developers maybe upped the damage of the weapons. I'm not entirely sure. There wasn't really anything about that, but for me, I feel like I can take people out, mid to long range with the rifle really easy. Now, the other gripe I've got with this game as well, it feels like I'm mentioning a lot of gripes here, but it is actually a really fun game. But I need to address these flaws so that hopefully the developers see this and they say, actually, yeah, you know what, we'll work on that. So I'm going to try to sound really smart here when I say this, but I'm probably going to sound like an absolute moron trying to sound smart. And that's the fact that the netcode in this game feels a little bit off. Now you see this guy here, he's teleporting about like crazy. That isn't what this Titan's meant to do. This is actually down to lag. I know that sounds really obvious to say, and it's kind of frustrating because people like that then have the upper hand, because for someone who, again, I'm trying not to sound snobby when I say this, but I'm probably going to come off like a real snob, but I have a very good internet connection, and I should not be punished for somebody who has an inferior internet connection who is going to just lag all over the place. Right, okay, with that being said, jokes aside, like, it is a little bit frustrating when someone who's lagging about gets the upper hand on you because you're aiming where they are and then suddenly they've teleported like 3 feet to the left or right, or they've jumped in the air. You know, they've moved erratically, so then you've got to adjust your aim accordingly, whereas they can just carry on aiming at you fine. It's kind of annoying when that happens, but again, it is pre-alpha. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I cannot imagine them sort of tailoring the game around people with a bad connection. I mean, I think personally this is just going to be prevalent, you know, this is going to be seen a lot in the game, but for the most part, a lot of people nowadays have got a really decent connection. Now, my other gripe here, and again, I'm not trying to list out a lot of gripes, but it's just what I've seen so far, and that's this, what you're seeing right here. Right, so originally in Titanfall 1, you would rodeo the person, you would rip off the plated, you know, the armor plating of the fusion core, you would take that off, and then you would be able to stay on their back and shoot their core, right? Obviously that wasn't the case, as you saw there. Like, I was jumping on his back and I was throwing grenades in his like chassis kind of thing and jumping off. Now I wasn't doing that on my own, I had no input in that at all. I was jumping on there, he was doing it on his own, like the character was doing it on his own, and then jumping off, which is kind of frustrating. But again, that being said, I did have an anti-Titan weapon on at the time, so it could be down to the fact that I had that weapon on that I was doing that. You just don't know. I haven't had enough time in terms of rodeoing other people. I've mainly been trying to take Titans out in another Titan. I would try and avoid them if I could, but in that instance I couldn't avoid it. I had to jump on him and that was it. But other than that, it's a really enjoyable game. It's really fun. It breaks the norm up from, say, like a Call of Duty game where it's just infantry, run and gun. It's really unique. It's a really unique shooter, and that's what I love about it. Like, Titanfall originally has that charm, and Titanfall 2, you know, it comes in with that exact same charm, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what other Titans they have in this game. Right, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like on it. It would help me out a lot, and also subscribe. Until next time, guys, this has been 5 Large Fries, and I'll see you in the next video.